We're live.
All right, we're here finally. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the. This is our third. Oh, now, Adam, you're gonna have to fix that. It's super echoing. Oh, that's on my phone. That's on mine. Hold on. Okay.
It's because you're
Hi.
watching it.
Yeah, it's because I'm watching it. I did not do that.
Don't watch it on stream.
All right. Yeah, problem nine. All right, this is only like our third stream. We still have no idea how to do it. We didn't know how we were going to do this until about 5 minutes ago, so I'm glad that it's somewhat working now.
Yay!
Yeah. So it is the last night of the Kickstarter. There is it ends tomorrow afternoon, so less than 1 day left. And then we're going to. We figured we'd take a look at that, see how we're doing, and go over stuff for the book. Everything we have planned for the book right now. Well, books. There's multiple books, but everything we have planned, and then we'll go over the game and how it works. And we have a few guests who are going to join us all tonight. So, a bunch of stuff. Unfortunately, we're doing this Zoom meeting style because we all couldn't be in the same place. Because Adam couldn't get a babysitter.
Yeah,
so
Yes, it's entirely Adam's fault.
It's Adam's fault for not having a babysitter. Otherwise, we'd be in front of the giant flag background like normal. So
we got a little one.
Yeah. Ahab has a little one. So yeah. So anyway, yeah. So let's look at Let's look at the Kickstarter. Let's see where we're at.
Okay.
How do you make this work, Adam?
You should be able to see it.
There we go.
Oh, there we are. Cool. So we're at 39.49, which is insane.
Oof.
It's so nuts.
When I started that image, that was like just barely over 30K, and that took me, I don't know, probably 2 hours to do because I'm kind of terrible at MS Paint, and that's why I write stories and I don't draw. In 2 hours, we picked up that much more. That's honestly incredible.
Final hours go fast.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nuts. When we started, we set the goal very low so that way it would look good and it would be achievable. And it was just the minimum to get a book put together with barely any art and everything. And our true goal was 17K. 17K was just to get the book and the minimum number of models. But this is nuts. This is far beyond the biggest expectations.
Yeah, the goal was the minimum we needed to make a book. 10K was to make a good book, but 17K was to make everything that we had planned to make if we could fund it. So,
right. So, we're thankfully super grateful. We use this extra money to put together additional models. In fact, actually, the model budget has swelled a lot because we want very detailed, intricate models that are taking a lot more time than originally budgeted for. So the model expenses are higher than we originally anticipated. So that's good that we went over budget because we will need it. We're also adding additional things like one of the goals is we want these models to all be modular. So it's a little kit. You've got your the pieces for the guy, and then you have weapons and accessories, and we want all of those to be to have multiple options. So different sets of arms with different guns. Like you have the big 5-inch gun that we have in the picture, and then then there's the GAU 8 minigun that's on the cover.
Also
and,
different,
both
also
of
different,
those. Pick
also
which one you
different
want to
leg
start.
options and different backpacks. And
Right, the backpacks and the rocket pods, and then all of the things that will be in the book that you can equip on your war machine should be model parts, and you can mix and match them however you want, including some of them, not all of them, but including some between different factions, because they'll mount in similar ways, so you can mix and match stuff that way, and you can really kit bash and have fun. It'll be easy to do.
I'm sorry. I actually have one of the light cards here on me if you want me to show it off for anybody that may not have seen it.
I have a model somewhere. No, he's in the other room on the hex map. The card thing is a whole different thing. So when people get their models, they're going to get them in just the parts, separate parts as STL files, and then we'll also have the supported ones where each individual part is supported. So if you want to make your own supports, you can do that. And if you want to use pre-supported because you don't want to deal with it, then you can get it. You can get that too. So and that'll be all of it. So like we're gonna have 15 different models of war machines, and then we're also maybe 16 or 17. We'll see. And then we're also gonna have multiple weapon options and multiple accessory options for each one of those models. So there's going to be a ton of customization, and like all that stuff is also supported in the book because each one of those things is a real item, and so you can pick and choose and everything. Should be very cool. So yeah. So so that's that. Man, it's super cool. What else have we added? We're gonna do adventures. That's something that a lot of people have asked for, and that we've tacked on as a stretch goal. It was when we did the campaign setting, we did adventures as a stretch goal as well. We said we'll do some adventures, and it ended up being 6 decent adventures that, as you went on, they got bigger and bigger. And a full bestiary, and then a guide to writing Savage Company style adventures. How do you write adventures like our adventures that are good for showcasing the type of content that is in Savage Company? And so, yeah, we did the operations guide, which ended up being 100 pages.
It's a big stretch goal.
Because, yeah, like... If there's anything that we're guilty of, it's scope creep and writing a lot. So, so we're going to write some adventures. We don't fully know what we're going to write, but we're going to do 2 sets. So, well, I guess 3 sets. There's going to be scenario play. So we're going to set up 1-player or 2-player scenarios for or more for Machines of War. So just tabletop for just the war game itself. We're going to set up scenarios for the war game, and so and then different win conditions, stuff like that, to show off the different types of scenarios you can play with the tabletop war game by itself. And then we're also going to write a few adventures that are for Pathfinder or 5e, where it is an adventure that features War Machine content as a core piece of the adventure. And so then you have a guide, basically a template of different ways to include the Machines of War wargame in your regular tabletop RPGs. So that book will have all of those things, and all of the enemies and stuff that are used in the tabletop version will also be in the beast series section, and we have a bunch of new beasts that we're going to put in there as well. So there will be a bunch of monsters and enemies for both tabletop and for War Machine scale. So
if you're letting him out, you stay there.
Troy's
until he
on
wants
chat.
back in,
Troy
'cause that's really barking.
is our editor and our layout guy, and he's actually helping out with a bunch of those monsters as well. Some of those were his idea, and they're really good. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Yeah, we're gonna. We are going to do a playtest for this, so all of the backers will get a playtest document. It will be bare bones. It'll be it'll be full of it'll be full of content, but it will not look pretty. It will just be paper. Maybe we'll throw a little bit of art on there. We'll see. But we will do a playtest document that will go out to all of the backers, and we want feedback from that. So mostly at that point, the only thing we're worried about is making sure that we've smoothed out all of the cheese. The cheese must be smooth and evenly spread the cheese. So game balance is the issue. So yeah, that's what we're looking for. When we do the play test, we want to hear feedback about game balance and what's broken and what needs to be fixed, so we can just adjust our numbers so that it's a fair and playable game. So, what do you guys have that?
Well, I think it's going to be. I'm very excited to see how the playtesting turns out, because, I mean, that's really when all the number crunching is like really going to begin afterwards. So, the fine tuning will come out then. It's it's going to be interesting to see what people think, their initial reactions and interactions with it, and then once the tweaks have gone through, how they feel about it then. And I mean, we're gonna keep working it and refining it and just upping the quality as much as possible until it's everything that we could hope it could be and everything you guys want it to be, so that we put out the best product possible.
Yeah, the balancing is going to be work, but we'll definitely put that work in. I'm excited about the bones of the structure that we have now, because it seems like it's going to be a really fun way to play at the scale that we've set. I'm really interested to see how it's going to work with like squads and armored companies versus like war machines. I think that's really interesting and a different way of playing.
Yeah. What I like the most about at least everything we have so far, the rules are extremely simple and easy to pick up and learn. When I say rules light, I'm not kidding. You can fit all the combat rules on one page for the most part, and it's supposed to go fast. It's supposed to go smooth and fast, but still be familiar for people who play like a D20 based game. So and also I've also seen a lot of chatter about I'll just play BattleTech, or I'll just play Warhammer. I like those games just fine, and blah blah blah. And that's fine. We're not trying to emulate those games. We want to make something new that is fun to play and easy to learn, and maybe there are elements that are familiar to those other games, but we're not trying to copy anything or make our version of somebody else's game. We're trying to make our own thing, and I think it's different, and I think that it'll flow good, and it'll be fun to play.
It has different strengths, and it fits a different niche.
Right. I don't like big slogs. I think that at least as an element as a game you play on your own, or as an element into a bigger game, it should go quickly. You should be able to play quickly. Your turn should go decently fast, and you should be able to move. It should be action. So strategy is important, but also your turn should go decently fast, and you could be able to play a couple games in an hour, not one game in 2 hours. So, those are some of our like key notes when we were coming up with the stuff. So, one thing is like as a player, all of the units have some familiar numbers. So your war machine has an AC, okay, and it has an attack number, and you'll roll your attack number against the enemy's AC to see if you hit or not. It's very straightforward and normal things.
Yeah. You'll have a speed.
They all have health points, and they all have damage points, and so if you hit, you subtract the number of damage points you did from their health points, and when it gets to 0, then they're out. Like, it's familiar, but there's not a huge amount of rules surrounding it, so you'd be able to pick it up quickly and move fast. And of course, anybody who's played Dungeons & Dragons or Pathfinder will be very easy. It'll seem very natural. And then when we talk about it being compatible or merging into, there's a small set of guidelines for how those numbers equate to your tabletop game. So when you have a weapon that does 1 point of damage against a war machine, and the machines of war, you do 1 point of damage, that is equivalent to 100 points of damage on your tabletop scale. So the numbers stay small, but you just move the decimal over a couple points. Then
the speed
if you
value.
have a movement of if you have, like, say you have a movement of 3, right? So your war machine has a movement of 3. You can move 3 hexes, or you can move 3 inches, okay, on the battle map. But that is equivalent to 90 feet, because each space is a 30-foot hex. So you have 30 feet from edge to edge on the short edges on the hex. That's 30 feet. So it's the number of squares equal to 30 feet. And then, so if you move 3, that's equivalent of a 90-foot movement. Most everything is on a decimal point, and then movement's 1 to 30. But otherwise, it's pretty much right in line with everything else, and it'll be very easy to go back and forth.
30 foot's a pretty common standard for those.
30 foot is, yeah. Most movement is most characters have 30-foot movement speed to start out with. So, and then also we're gonna have included in the book a map to make that extra easy. It'll be a hexagon, a full-page hexagon that has squares on it, where each square is a 5-foot square. So you can use that to represent a single hex on a bigger hex map. So if you're playing large scale, and so each hex is 30 feet, and you move your war machines around on it, and then you want to zoom in to just one hex with your individual characters, you can use that map.
Yeah,
and that's
a 30-foot hex battle map with 5-foot square grids on it.
Yep. So it'll be very easy to jump from one to the other. So, you can be fighting on that, and then jump into your white war machine, and then move to the other map and move around, and then jump back out. It'll be super easy to go back and forth, and it'll be a lot of fun. And like most war machines don't target individuals, they target a full square. Math make brain hurt, yeah. Yes, these are all easy numbers, and there will be cheat sheets.
More unga bunga, less calculator.
There will be cheat sheets. It will go quickly, I swear.
Yes.
And like war machines, they don't normally target individuals. You fire your barrage of rockets, it'll do 3 points of damage against other war machines. But when you target a hex, instead of targeting an individual, a single dude staying on a hex, you're not doing 300 points of damage to that dude. You're doing 300 points of damage spread across the entire 30-foot hex area. So that might come down to like 2d8 per person in that entire area, and then you
With a
also
save.
would have a reflex save
Yeah.
based on that. Also very easy to calculate. It's different for Pathfinder or 5e, but we'll have those cheat sheets for those as well in the compatibility rules. So it'll be very easy just to jump back and forth. So a lot of fun and fast, and that's kind of the goal here. Is like, we don't want you to get bogged down. We want you to enjoy it. We want you to be able to bring new people in and have them pick it up instantly and have fun. That's
Yeah.
key.
Yeah.
So
or if you're playing Pathfinder or 5e and you're running, let's say, one of our modules or something that has War Machine content in it, you don't have to prep the War Machine rules ahead of time. You could pick them up mid-play, just read through this one sheet, and know enough to be able to figure it out and roll with it that evening.
Yep.
That's the
So, yeah, I think people are going to be very happy with it when it comes out. So, like I said, the only thing that's iffy in our minds right now is some of the numbers, making sure everything is balanced for fair competitive play. That's the only ifs right now. So, I don't actually understand some of these questions coming through, but. Oh, it's Warhammer stuff. I haven't played Warhammer since 1998, and I haven't played BattleTech since 1999. I have no idea how either of those games work at this point. So,
the fuzzy nostalgic memories are a bonus at this point because we can't plagiarize anything.
right. So a good portion of my inspiration for this was house-ruled BattleTech I played with my buddies in the back office of the hotel I was working at on the clock and drinking in 1999. The last time I played. It was a lot of fun, and I'm pretty sure we didn't follow the rules anyway. I didn't know them because I had to ask. And then, but it influenced how I wanted this to work, even if it's not actually how it works. I don't remember. Can the rules be stored on a 3x5 card? Probably not all of it.
Depends on how small you write.
Right.
Yeah.
But can you fit all the important rules on one side of one sheet of paper? Probably. Yeah. Like the combat rules, how does combat work? One side of one sheet of paper printed, no problem. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think you guys are going to be really happy with it. We definitely will be relying on good feedback from you guys. We'll do our own play testing. We'll probably host some server games on Discord. We can get people together, and then to help balance those numbers out. But we'll get there soon enough. Actually, should we do rules handout infographic? Maybe that's probably a good idea. To do like one sheet, like one page in the book, designed to be photocopied, so you can hand them to new players. It's actually a really good idea.
A handout. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's good. All that stuff seems, pretty straightforward. And then what else were we missing?
RPD, I understand that reference. I like that.
Tell about your story, Ahab.
Which one?
The one based on your experiences.
Oh,
I want to talk about this because this is like
oh man.
So when we started this whole project in the very beginning, one of the things we wanted to do was reach out to veteran friends of ours and get them to, if they wanted to, tell stories based on their experience, and then let us publish them for them. And a couple of friends of ours, one retired, one active duty, did submit stories that they wrote based on experiences or stories they heard, or loosely based on their time in the military. And then we took those and adjusted some of the characters and some of the technology to fit the setting, and we put them in the book. And Ahab, you tell them about your story.
So Okay, so this particular story, so it's based on like Owen was just saying, it's based on one of my experiences, or close enough to a real life experience that I had in the military. So my job was pretty unique. I would work on helicopters, but I would also go outside the wire and load them up and fuel them, and we'd be posted up in all sorts of random places, whether it's another base or we're holed up on the other side of the hill while everybody's doing the fighting on the other side. Well, that's basically what this story is, where you have a group of guys from the support element set up just outside the battle lines, so they're close enough so that the mechs can fall back, reload, change armament or refuel, whatever they got to do, and then get back into the fight with as little downtime as possible. Right, so it's high speed, very hectic. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of chaos going on, and everybody's got to be good at their job because the danger is very high. Not only are you surrounded by fuel and rockets, explosive ammunition for the guns, whatever, you've also got incoming rounds coming in. So I wanted to try to capture all of that in the story, but keep the Savage Company flair, that high octane madness, the full cyclic
vibe.
Machine guns, just over the top, just really blow the top off the whole thing. And it's really coming together, and obviously it's my personal heart and soul poured into this thing, so I'm super excited to get it out to everybody, and I want to hear the reception of this story as well as all the other ones too. We all work on them and we all put something into it, so it's always really cool to get the feedback on the stories. But this one in particular, it's gonna be great.
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. Merritt said, basically infantry.
Yeah, I was like, basically infantry, so,
Basically infantry, we were saying. Okay, so, obviously we love all the stories because we put a lot of heart into them, but it's the veteran stories, I think, they mean a lot more to me, at least. That's one of the core things we wanted to do with these books, is help people tell stories, let that, if there's anything real or inspired by that they want to get off their chest, we want to publish it. We want to put you guys in the book. We're writing this for you guys. We want you to be a part of it. We always have an open call. Even if you don't think you write very good, give us something and we'll work it and put it in the book. There's always a call for guest stories, story submissions. I
We can take very rough drafts like we've done.
Very rough. You don't have to know how to write. You don't have to know anything about the book. If you have a story you want to tell, we'll make it happen. I've worked with veterans for over a decade, and I'm the only person on the team who's not the prior service. So, we all know people, and so we put it out there every time. We have an open call for you guys. We want you to be part of this. If you want to do something, we'll make it happen. We don't have that written down anywhere. We haven't put that chunk in the books. It's just part of it. So I definitely want to talk about it. I feel like we don't talk about it enough.
Yeah, I feel like it adds something that you really can't fake, and that it comes through in the work when people read it. If you know, then you know, and you read these stories and you're like, oh, a vet wrote that stuff. I know that.
Somebody lived part of this. Yeah.
And I mean, that's the cool thing too. I think the last live stream we actually mentioned another one of the stories by name, the Roughneck Ranger story.
Oh yeah,
that is where another veteran submitted a story to us, and we looked at it. We said, okay, so here's what we got, and blah 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 blah, and we turned it into what it is. We try to keep the core meat and
I mean,
potatoes
all we
of the
really
story.
changed was like
Yeah.
the technology turned into magic items.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep the
The dog
narrative.
started talking.
Yeah,
We'll
like
turn-
we'll
we added
tweak
the
it a
dog
little
to
bit to make it
animated
work,
dog,
for,
but otherwise,
for the
like,
setting.
yeah,
Yeah, but like, it was so cool because like, what we got and then what it turned into, and just, yeah, I mean, the dude gave us so much to work with that, and it's I try not to play favorites with the stuff that we make, but it of the stories, that is one of my
favorites. Yeah,
it's up there in my top favorites. I like the way that one turned out, and it all started with a vet going, all right,
Yeah.
here guys,
Buddy
what
mine,
do you
go
think of this?
Quinn wrote that, and yeah, it's very cool, and it's not something we would have come up with on our own.
Yeah,
True.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully we get to do more of that. Like that, I think that's key. But I also like that because this book deals with vehicles and stuff. It was able to just straight up slot into some of your own personal experiences.
yeah,
I think that was just worked out good.
yeah.
It's not like Skin is basically an alter ego of Adam already. Anyway.
His evil alter ego.
I wish.
What else? What else we have? What's next?
Um,
Where's my notes? Oh, all right. So, one thing we're gonna do, 5e players should be happy. Now that the Kickstarter is over, tomorrow the Kickstarter is over. Before I dig hard into the more writing on the new book, because I basically put a lot of writing on the back burner because running the Kickstarter campaign is almost a full-time job anyway. I've been glued to the computer every day, pins and needles, watching the thing and like running social media posts and editing images and writing updates and all that stuff. So now that it's over, before I do anything else, we're gonna go through and we're gonna fix all the typos in the 5e book and release an update. So anybody who has the 5e book probably noticed that there are a few typos. We're gonna fix that, and we're gonna re-release that first thing.
Yeah. The goal on that was like it had gotten delayed, so we really wanted to get it out so that people could have those rules that they were waiting on. But we're not going to leave it where it is. We're going to bring it up to Savage Co. quality and re-push it out.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna fix the typos, get that sorted, and then re-release it. That's an update, so everybody who has it already will just be able to download the new version. It's not a new book. It's just an update to the digital file. You'll be able to download the new version. And if you have a print book of it, like, let me know and show me that you have the print book, and I'll give you a discount if you want to reorder it. It's all just typo fixes, so I don't think you won't really need any rules changes. But if you have a print copy of it and you want a typo less, I'm not gonna say typo free. If you want a less typo version, then just let me know and I'll get you a coupon code so you can buy a new one at printing cost because you already have it. But if you have the PDF of the 5e campaign setting book, you'll get it updated for free. So it's just a digital file update. You'll get it delivered. You probably get an automated notification that there's a new version in your box or something like that. I have no idea, to be honest, but probably that's how it works.
It should be. If it doesn't notify people, we can probably send an email to those.
We'll probably
customers
put
that downloaded
notifications
it.
of our own out. So yeah, we'll see. Oh wait, there. Never mind. All right. So okay, Avery's here. Let's bring Avery in, and we'll talk about art. You ready?
All right.
Okay, I'll just drag her in.
I'm gonna kill this live stream here.
Yeah, kill that part so her video can be there.
Not that one.
Troy said, "Yes, that is how it works." Awesome.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Am I supposed to be on video?
Yes.
Oh.
I did warn you.
Well, okay, I thought it was going to be video at first, and then by the way you made it sound tonight, it sounded like it wasn't going to be video. So,
Whoops.
It's on YouTube. It's definitely video. This is Everett. This is Avery. She's joining us just a second. She's the lead artist on the new book. Hi.
hello. As you can see, I was not prepared.
Okay. It's good to have you here.
Good to
Yeah. So last year, last year was last year or year before. Last year you did a lot of work for the campaign setting book. Bunch of guns, a few characters and stuff, and now this year for this book, you're doing almost all of it.
It's
How do you feel about
exciting. It's gonna be fun, especially because this year in particular, I set aside pretty much all of my work time to be you guys because this is fun to do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I think it's going to be great. In fact, that's one of our things next week. We're going to go through, get reference images for you to like work on all this stuff. I think there's probably at least 100 different illustrations from you in this book. It is quite a lot. So we're super excited about that. Do you have any previews for us?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
Other than the stuff that I don't know what you guys have already shown of stuff that I've already done, but you guys already have all that stuff.
Oh no, I meant the thing that we talked about like 2 days ago.
Oh
4
no,
or
I don't
5
have.
days ago.
I don't have anything
remember
nice
how-
for that.
It was a while ago. Yeah, okay. That's fine. That's fine. Big Mac's characters. We're also gonna work on characters. Right now, I guess we started with Malice Protectorate. One of the guys in chat has been like, talk about Malice Protectorate. That's his favorite faction.
Totally not Moth. Definitely not Moth.
But yeah. So what do you think about like different art styles for the different factions? Is there a favorite one?
I don't know. Well, I'm really pumped about this one. Like, I mean, this is the character that you approached me with first of all, and you were like, this one is like right up your alley. So kind of right off the bat, I was excited about it, and then you started explaining all of the details and all
Strong
of the
lady
weather
characters.
and everything.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I can do that.
Strong ladies is good.
Yeah.
And then I don't think I've even showed you into elf redesign stuff. We're doing like a big visual redesign for the elves because I'm not a super fan of elves, and so I took elves as like a personal challenge because
And re-emphasizing some of their lore and stuff. Yeah.
well, yeah, so like in the first book, like I was like, man, I don't really like kobolds, and I don't like bards, and then like Alley Track came in at one of like the best characters in the whole book. She's so-
You
Yeah.
right, Alley Track. Okay.
Yeah. But she turned out so good. I'm like, man, I really like this. I love this character now, and I didn't like cards at all, but this is great. And so, I was like,
we had to make a bard that we liked. We had to make a bard archetype that we liked, and we had to redesign kobolds so that we liked them, and then we made a a bard kobold that we liked. Yeah.
Yeah, Alishrek is great. Everybody loves Alishrek.
Yes!
So, yeah, so for elves, I took elves as like a personal challenge. I was like, how do I make elves cool? At least make elves cool that I like them. So we're going very different. These elves will be, I don't know. Right now I'm calling them old blood elves, but they are elves that have not been had any human blood mingled in their genetics in the past, so they look extremely alien. We're amping up the alienness of the elves, and they're going to be pretty cool, I think. Not humans with pointy ears, which is what you see all the time. But I'm like, it just drives me crazy when you see like this race is human but X, like human but green, human but teeth,
The Star
human
Trek
but
treatment.
pointy ears, human but short. I'm like, if they're gonna be a completely different race, let's make them completely different, and let's get like a little weird, make them visually distinct.
Yeah. If it doesn't
and any-
trigger the uncanny valley response, then they're not alien enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, uncanny valley. This is like, this is not human. Like, it has to look.
If your
Well-
lizard brain doesn't say other when you see it, then like it's too human.
Threat.
It's too human. Yeah.
Yeah. And anybody that's in the Discord and has seen some of the preview images, if you've seen what we have for the war machines for them, you already know where like
Oh, yeah.
how
Adam,
alien
you
we're
wanna
talking.
show some of that.
What was that?
I'll work on pulling up some of those. Yeah.
Okay. You said the elf war machines are just
Oh.
real weird. Okay, so for anybody who doesn't know, Mitch is the concept artist for all the war machines, and that is Avery's fiance?
Pretty much.
Fred?
We'll just say that. Put the pressure
Yes.
on.
Whoops.
I met Mitch through Avery, and he's done a really good job on all of the concept art for the war machines. So all of the mech designs Mitch drew, and he did a good job, especially on these elf ones, because man, they are weird. They creep you out when you look at them, especially the four-legged one. It's great.
Is that one the one
Man.
with the legs?
The
Nice leg.
hand feet.
I think so, because I remember seeing him working on that one. I was like, wow, those are some sexy legs.
Oh, no, that's probably the second one with the like almost human-looking legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it stands up tall, but it's got like guns bolted to the side, but it has like human-looking legs and like a Evangelion torso. They're all just little creepy. Yeah.
Yeah. I honestly, I love the way the Tectonic turned out, though. Like just how that's going already. Because I remember when you and we started kind of spitballing ideas back and forth at each other. Like, okay, let's take a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and send it off. And what we got back, I was like, whoa, what is this? I love it. So
Yeah.
really, really, really
Took it and
excited.
ran with it. Yeah.
Hand, feet, gorilla hands. Gorilla hand, feet. The feet are gorilla hands.
It reminds me of
Yeah.
it reminds me of the Independence Day bio suit critters. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
They walked,
Yeah, they
they
have
walked
weird
on the
too, I
gorilla
think.
knuckles on their legs. Yeah.
So yeah, how many characters we have so far? We have one hero for each faction, plus I think we're gonna have. It's coming close to like 10 individual character designs for the book, because we have several NPCs that have to have full illustrations, and then we have 5 iconics technically for just the pilots for the factions. We'll have some other non-pilot iconics. And then, yeah, why don't you, Adam, can you pull up the Hobgoblin pilot?
Yeah. There's this one.
I have no idea what folder you're in.
I'm looking at art previews.
Okay, it might be in there. I mean, I know it's in there somewhere. It's a ways up. Oh, there it is. It's transparent.
Colossus
There you
of
go.
Rhodes.
The Colossus Roid.
I'm so glad that name stuck. I'm so
No.
glad.
This guy's like the most normal. The Hobgoblin. This is Avery's work, by the way, everyone. Also, the guns, so great. You always do such a good job on the guns. And you say that you don't like doing mechanical stuff, but like all of
Guns are
it is so
Guns,
good.
guns I enjoy. I love getting into all the little tiny guns. I have to make sure I get them right though, which is why I'm glad that you're the one who's do.
Yeah.
I still have no idea how you did the case hardening on like the big iron.
It's like 50 layers of different colors.
Oh
That
my
took
gosh.
forever, but it was fun.
Oh man, it looks so good. It's so accurate. Like it looks
Yeah.
like glued case hardening on the metal. And I'm like, wow. Hopefully now that you know how to do it, it doesn't take a long time.
No,
Okay.
I'm much better at all that kind of stuff now.
So, yeah, okay, so for everybody, this is Hobgoblin. That's why his arms are so long, because every race has should be recognizable from the silhouette. That's part of like the art direction, I guess. Is that me on do art direction?
Yep.
So each race has a different skeletal structure than humans do, because you should be able to tell by a silhouette that it's not a person, that it's not human. So this is a hobgoblin. Hobgoblins have big hands and feet and much longer arms. They have long legs and arms and a shorter torso, but their arms, especially the arm ratio, is completely wrong for humans, and that's why his hands reach almost down, to the top of the knee, if you were to outstretch. And so, yeah, that's hobgoblins. They're wiry and fast and tough. And obviously, it's a little bit of Titanfall inspiration, but we wanted to have all the pilots, the pilot class, because it's a playable class. One of the pilots all have this like super cool enhanced mobility, to leap and get around everywhere on the battlefield, and to maneuver over any obstacles, and to run and jump up into their giant walking tanks at a moment's notice. And that's what they set up for. Visually, Savage Company stuff is always kind of orky American World War II-ish military. So,
Yeah.
they're not all orcs, but most of them are orcs. But a little bit of slap together.
Old school tank style.
But also a
Field
lot of
ingenuity.
very old, classic American military kind of feel as well. So, big metal plates, diesel, smoke fumes, rattling engines, lots of noise. And like this guy, I think, fits it very well. And then, of course, even like the armor is a modification of armor from the first book. That's an item that already exists, and we've incorporated into this to, kind of show off that character, but make it consistent with all the previous stuff. And that's easy to do with Savage Company, but with Savage Company faction. But when it comes to factions, all brand new, untread territory.
Yeah, it was a little bit difficult to get those concepts to mesh with the pseudo-Roman guy.
Oh yeah, the Roman guy.
Well, it seems like it would have been difficult, except that Dionysius just nailed it right out of the park.
Right.
Yeah.
I always say his name wrong, and I feel really bad about it, because now we're on stream, and I know he's going to watch this.
Dionysius.
Pressure's on.
Dionysos Melonius. I've tagged him in stuff before. You can show that pilot if you want. This is a guy in I believe he's in Greece. He's done scene art. He did the parachute from the blimp scene, and he did the
The classic,
hiding the dragon
classic
scene.
airborne art art print iconography. Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah. So he was doing a scene of the Invictus Legion, and it needed the pilot in it, and we didn't have pilot art yet. We didn't know what we were going to do, so I'm like, all right, well, this is what he's supposed to look like. You can design him. And this is what he came up with. We went back and forth a few times, but this is our fantasy Roman faction pilot. And you could tell, like, there's similarities to the other pilot, but he's obviously very different.
Yeah.
And so that's 2 out of 5 factions. So, yeah, that's what Avery will be working on, is faction design next, and then we'll roll. Then we'll roll in a bunch of equipment and everything else, because there's tons of little things.
Yeah.
So, why don't you show the little round guy that's in a box? You got that image, Adam?
I know where it is.
Oh, round.
Okay.
Oh.
So, I don't know if anybody in chat has read the operations guide. We talked about it earlier. Has anybody actually read the operations guide? Probably not.
That one, right?
We've got a resounding yes.
In one of the adventures, there's a character that shows up at the end. There it is. Okay. So, this is a docent corps. If you're familiar with Eberron, there are things called docents. What do they call it?
They're called docents.
Just docent? Yeah. So, docents are little intelligent magic items that stick in your Warforged character, and will like talk to you in your brain, and will translate for you and stuff. And they know things. They're like little computer brains. So this is a big computer brain, and you can plug it into machinery, and it'll control the machinery for you. So you can get one of these computer brains for your giant walking tank, and then you can talk to your giant walking tank. So I'm sure that will make for a lot of very fun gameplay, where, you're, instead of it just being a big vehicle, it could be, more of an NPC or an active character. And then there's other things, like having a docent core plugged into a war machine gives you like a base on any checks. So if you flub a check, it'll, instead of, failing, it'll drop down to whatever your core's level is at. And there's other things like that. It's pretty cool. But
It can be your own
Avery
personal.
is super excited with this. I can't wait to get more art of these guys, and different ones and like different looks.
Yeah, this one's.
I think you did a great job on this guy. I love it.
This one's disappointed in me.
He's unimpressed.
I don't know how you get attitude into a robot eyeball, but you did.
But it's there.
You did.
Like
it.
it
Put
has
a little shade.
Yeah, I can't wait to have more of these, because we're definitely gonna do. We'll let you do it. I'm not gonna do it, but other versions of these or different ones, because every single one's unique. So I think people will like them, and I think we need to have more of them. Especially show off, like, other factions will have them, and they'll look very different. So it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun, and a lot of. It's gonna take talent to make them have personality when they're a ball with a single metal eyeball, but I have full confidence.
What were we talking about for the Malleus one? Did we have some idea?
Oh, a decapitated sculpture head with a single eyeball.
No, that was the.
Oh,
That
wait,
was
that's
Invictus Legion.
you
We were
said
talking
Mallets.
Yeah, we were talking about like an ivory statue.
Yeah,
bust.
yeah, like a statue head
the
on a
off
head
of a bust, but it's a
Yeah.
cyclops.
with one eyeball who has a face and like carved hair. Yeah. But for Yeah, for Malleus, I was thinking like a round pressure vessel, like a helmet of a deep sea diver kind of thing, with a bolted thing. But instead of it being a purely magical machinery, it's got like an imp trapped inside. So they have there's a, like, if you get real, like, it glows, but if you get real close, you can see this, like, there's a creature in there, like, it's all, brightly red glowing or whatever, but there's an actual, like, little demon trapped inside this metal ball, and that's how this machine is intelligent, because there's a little guy stuck inside there. So everybody's gonna have very different stuff. They all have their own, like, visual language and everything, so I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. So, what else we got? I don't know what else. What else are we working on? My voice is getting hoarse. Avery, what have you been working on lately?
Oh, so much work. Well, everyone's got their stimulus now, so everyone wants to do quick turnaround work for them. It's always hectic.
Oh yeah.
So just a lot of work. A lot
of little
especially,
commissions.
Yeah, right after all of the moving. But I am so happy to be back. It's so nice.
Yeah, you just moved how many weeks ago?
Like 2.5 or 3.
Yeah, a couple weeks
but
ago.
I feel like I only just finished the other day because that's when I got my desk set up.
Oh, yeah, having a workspace is super important.
Yeah.
I know. You can see behind me is mine. All these boxes I made into Fort Kick-Ass.
I'm in my living room.
My desk area separate from the child area. It's spring break right now, so Samson has been coming to work with me like every day. So, yeah, I do a little work and a lot of wrestling, amateur professional wrestling with the 5-year-old. So, a lot of fun. So, awesome. I think that's all I got. I can't think of anything else, to be honest. I'm kind of fried. But I'll probably let you go. Thank you so much for coming on with us and chatting with us. I can't wait to see all.
I can't wait to have more to actually show.
Well, there will be a lot of it, and yeah, we'll make sure to get you the things that you need so that you can actually work on it. I know we have just like a giant list that you're waiting on us to like put things in so that you can actually work on it. So
I already got somewhere to start, so that's all I need.
super excited. Yeah, and then for everybody else, if you're on social media or on the Discord, you'll see previews. What do you want people to go to see your work? Your Instagram?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's probably the best place to find stuff.
I will link it in the chat right now because I already have it pulled up.
Hopefully everyone in the chat is already on the Discord. If not, like, that's the best place to follow all Savage Code work is on the Discord.
Yeah, that's where we're most active. But yeah, if you want to see Avery's work, there's her Instagram in the chat, and check her out. She has a lot of good stuff. Thank you so much, Avery, for coming on.
Thank you. I'm so excited. Thank you, guys.
We'll see you later. All right. The child area and the Guns and Anime Girls area. That's mostly true. Actually, that's entirely true because I do have Anime Girl area over there where I ship Anime Girl patches. Then there is a gun area. and then there is a child area. So that's 100% true. Yeah. I was like, I don't have anime girls in here, but then I realized there's thousands of dollars of anime girl stuff that belongs to customers right over there. So, like, I forgot.
You
So,
inadvertently have more anime in one place than both me and Adam combined.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. Right. So let me pull up my thing here. Okay. If you have any, do we have any questions about Machines of War? If you have questions, now's a good time for it. I'm gonna see if somebody's available. Let's see.
In the meantime, I want to say, as far as all the new factions and all the world building that's going to go into that is concerned, I'm really excited about all the art that Avery's going to do, and just, I mean, all the art in general, because for me, when it comes to my writing process, having a picture or having at least a fleshed out idea of what something is supposed to look like or how it's supposed to feel or how it's supposed to sound, like, it helps me to put the pieces together and start, you know, painting that image with words, if you will.
Yeah.
So it's, in a way, because we have such fantastic art coming in, and we're going to have more coming in, you know, I'm confident that that's going to help really create a really, really well-rounded, descriptive, and just really enjoyable set of descriptions and experiences and everything for each faction.
It should,
You know, so that it's not just Savage Company and then these 4 other smaller things. Like, we want to put everything
equal spotlights.
up on all equal footing here.
It should
Yeah, make
definitely
everything
it should
enjoyable.
definitely inspire players to come up with their own stuff too, and they see all the variety that we have and the awesome cool pilot art.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing that we've, always we have like a bunch of things that are like core like rules or things that like we have to remember, and one of those is like people are going to do whatever they want. Once the book is out of our hands, you are going to do whatever you want with it, and we encourage that. We have no illusions that we have any control over the product once it's been sold. We know that, anticipate that.
We're the
So we
kind
wanna
of players that
give
couldn't be
options.
controlled.
Yeah, we want to give you options instead of trying to say you can't do stuff. We're like, here's all the different things you can do, and here's other ways that you can do it also if that works better for you. Because yeah, we have no illusions that there is any form of control once it leaves our hands. And we want to encourage people to be creative and to come up with new stuff. Also, we have Fallen Winter in here. I'm just going to drag him in here because he's going to talk about some of the crazy stuff that his players. He's been running Savage Company since the book came out.
Yeah, since it came out, he's been running games,
Consistent.
multiple games.
Yeah, so I'm going to bring him in. Hello.
Hello!
Do you have video or are you just audio?
I am just audio.
Okay. What should we call you?
Winterworks.
Okay.
Winter.
Or Richard.
Okay,
Or
that's
Richard.
fine. Because I don't. Yeah, it's fine. So we were just saying you've been running multiple Savage Company games since the first book came out for over a year now, and you've got a
Yes.
lot of interesting stories about stuff that your players have come up with. You want to share any of that with us?
So, I am blessed to work at a gun store with a number of boomer customers. I have been told that the M14 is the finest battle implement that has ever been created more times than I have count.
Two World Wars.
I'm literally wearing a 1911 right now, so yes. Literally wearing one right now.
Oh, dude, before we ever wrote the book, I was adamant. I'm like, we're not putting a 1911 in the book. It's not going to happen.
Too late. I've already got one running around in my game. It's a +2 1911 that if you roll a 1, you can't use it for until you take a long rest.
Well, that's why the art is like a 1903 hammer automatic instead of a 1911. I was like, we have to go older.
But we specifically did a nod to the 1911 in the flavored text for that item
we
as
did.
well.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about your boomers.
So I have a group of 4 boomers who've been playing D&D longer than most of us have been alive. One of them likes to fondly remember the time he almost slept with Gary Gygax's wife. We don't believe him, but we let him.
Same story, but we won't get into it.
Yes. So when I told them that a group of veterans were doing an RPG, they were like, "Cool, that sounds fun." So I was like, "You guys want to run it with me?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I explained that it was orcs, and these guys are old school players, so they didn't want to play orcs. Instead, they decided to make an entire dwarven infantryman squad. And named it Ale Team.
Squad. All dwarves, all infantrymen. I love this, though.
And they named it Ale Team 6.
I love it.
So, of course, I ran with it. I found a map from an old Time magazine of what they expected Osama bin Laden's hideout to look like. And we ran our first session where their dwarven gyrocopter crashed on the side of a mountain as they were chasing Osama bin Laden.
Yes.
And it just kind of took off from there. They have been playing about once a month. They're still playing. They're level 8 now. They're still chasing Osama bin Laden, and we've gone through.
He's wily.
What? Oh, he's very wily. They haven't figured out if he's a bard or a barbarian yet, and it's really starting to annoy them. But they've managed to hack and slash their way through 3 dungeons of his, and they're currently dealing with the fact that the elves want to come into this area, which it's basically Afghanistan with kobolds, and start peacekeeping operations. And well, they hate elves.
Of course they do.
They're dwarves, yeah.
Well, I mean, of course the elves do. I mean, I just took the hating elves thing for granted.
Oh.
Because those elves come in and like run the place.
Well, one of the guys actually has a story that his dwarf doesn't have a beard, because during this world's version of World War II, the elves were Nazi Germany, effectively. And we've hand-waved a bunch of stuff and built a bunch of stuff. Yeah, eugenics elves who wanted to get rid of all the other races for breeding too much. We went to the World War II Museum and played D&D in the hotel near the World War II Museum.
Took a field trip.
Fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah. I went on my honeymoon to the World War II Museum, so...
Beardless elf, like he's an amputee.
Well, the thing was, during the war, to show their disdain to the dwarves, they shaved all the dwarven ambassadors' beards off and sent them home. So until all of the elves who did this are dead, he's not allowing his character to grow a beard.
Bring out the Book of Grudges!
Exactly. You understand perfectly. They have attempted to break the system a few times, but they're boomers. They're used to 1st and 2nd edition, so teaching them to play Pathfinder was fun. But all in all, they love Savage Company.
That's so
The funny thing was one of their grandsons decided to play, and he made a kobold that turned into Kobold Solid Snake.
Yes.
Oh, awesome.
Yes.
Was that before
I've
the
never-
Infantryman Handbook came out?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
This was I think we had just, memory's a little fuzzy because this is pre-COVID. We had just finished running the first dungeon, and the kid was, being over there, being a kid, talking about Fortnite and stuff like that, and we were just like, sit down and learn to do something. Sit down and learn to do something good. So he sat down, and we'll be damned if he wasn't moving tactically, taking cover, scouting ahead, telling his grandfather, "You guys are too loud. Let me go ahead. I'll deal with this." Gadding guards in the back of the head, and he rolled with it. We rolled with it, and the kid is Kobold Solid Snake.
Awesome.
However, he went to school and told all of his friends about the amazing fun time he had. This caused the Zoomer party to appear.
This just keeps getting better and better.
So they made kobolds, because of course they did.
Yeah, the
And-
first one was so cool.
I didn't realize the Zoomer was an all kobold party. I did not know that.
In the beginning, it was all kobolds, and then one of them made a Lobsteros when his kobold got killed by an IED. And he's been kind of their tank. They ride around on him. And and he's a Cajun Lobsteros, so he's a crawfish effectively. And he is their cleric bard multi-class.
What?
Yep. He's like 2 levels bard, 4 levels cleric at this point. And
Oh my god.
and plays up the full, he plays up the full I'm a crawdad. Carries 2 big knives because
In a
it's
banjo?
Louisiana. We have no, does not play a banjo. Has a washboard thing on his chest that he uses, that he runs his claws along.
It's not just his carapace.
No, it's not because
Can't properly tune a carapace at him.
effectively you can't. But and I mean this kid, he's from down outside of Baton Rouge. He's where we get most of our crawfish and gator from, actually. So he doesn't have to make a voice because he already sounds like a dude from Swamp People because he is from Swamp
Dude,
People.
Swamp People, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
It's
I had to stop.
kobolds riding, 3 kobolds with guns riding on a Lobstros that hands out heals.
Yep.
This is
4
amazing.
It's 4 kobolds and the Lobstros. And
Why not?
well, I couldn't run their game for them because they had weird hours. So the kids got got the Boomer grandpa to run games, and the Boomer is a Gulf War vet. So he started running Gulf War Savage Company
Oh man.
Yes.
with scud hunts and joint operations
Gulf War
and all this Cold War era stuff with the Savage Orcs being Russians in this world. And
Oh, God.
he ran with it, and they're having fun. COVID kind of knocked it down because, well, they're kids and they don't have the longest attention span. But now that everything's kind of coming back, they're playing once a week and having a ball with it.
Oh, fantastic. That's so awesome.
That is great.
I want to come down and sit in on these games.
Oh, man.
Well, my once a week game, I call it my newbie game because I inherited this game from a DM who decided that she was going to start a game and then 2 sessions into it just quit it. So I inherited it, and we've been using it for Savage Company playtesting. It's also my really weird world that I've been working on for 10 years. It's basically magical apocalypse happened in 3.5 and the world's all shitty, and now it's in 5th edition and things are getting kind of back to normal. So they have an airship. They have a very much so like your standard JRPG anime Skyship Weatherlight from Magic the Gathering style airship. And they had come across in this desolate wasteland a city that was on the back of the Tarrasque. And I made the Tarrasque the size of a kaiju. It's just this massive city on the back of the Tarask, and they were dealing with the poor downtrodden rebels who were basically communist cultists who wanted to make everyone perfect. Because, well, my newbie party consists of 2 veterans and a guy who is so libertarian that we joke that he worships the god of getting tasered by the cops. So during this Tarask time, we had Savage Company show up because it was right as the 5th edition book for Savage Company came out. So we had
now we need to bring Savage Company in. The book just
Yep.
dropped. Guess what's happening, guys?
Yes.
So the Savage Company did an airborne operation on a Tarask city, not to take over the city or anything, but to rob them. So it was basically Kobold Kelly's Heroes with airships for about 3 sessions.
Nice.
And we found out that the infantryman class in 5th edition, when there's 3 of them, they pretty much murder anything.
They're designed to synergize with each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
They
You run
don't.
just infantrymen, it works really good.
Yeah, that's what we learned from playtesting. I mean, everyone enjoyed it. The class was balanced. How we kind of look at balance in 5th edition is you have the Warlock and Bard, which are the 2 best 5th edition classes. The Bard is literally the best 5th edition class.
It's true.
College of Magic is the most amazing, stupid, broken thing. And it's clear somebody on Wizards design team's girlfriend is playing a Warlock. It's the most obvious thing in the world, because there's not a book that doesn't come out that the Warlocks don't get some sort of love. And then the worst class in 5th edition is the Ranger.
Well, I think the Warlock is the most played class also. Like-
It is. It is, but we've had a problem that every single person that's played a Warlock in my game has an OnlyFans in real life. Every single one of them. We've had 6 Warlocks join and leave this game because we play at a coffee house. We rotate. If newbie shows up and wants to play, every single Warlock has had an OnlyFans.
Well, it's a popular class, and like, how much does Eldritch Blast do? Get a spammable cantrip that does
All of the damage.
Scales. It scales, I think.
Yeah.
It scales. It does a D10, and you can hex them to do an extra D6 as a bonus action.
Yeah. It's so long as we're not doing more than that, we're fine.
Balance.
Balance.
Yeah.
Balance.
Yeah, approaching the top, but not exceeding it. That's
Yeah, look,
As long as you
the
don't
goal.
out-damage the Warlock, then it's clearly balanced.
Yeah, look, nothing's OP if everything's OP, okay?
Well, I'll describe it best. 5th edition is Marvel the Avengers D&D edition. It's really what it is. As much as I'd like to defend it, because I like some of the storyline stuff that they've done with it, it's the best role-playing game for newbies who are afraid of Pathfinder's crunch.
Yeah, I mean, it's super popular, and we have a lot of 5e players. And, it's a game you can play, without putting a ton of investment into, which has absolute merits. So,
It does. It does. It doesn't have near the book spam that 3 and 3.5 did.
you don't have to
Because
have
I
all the books. You don't have to spend a lot of time digging into crunchy bits to tweak your characters. And a lot of people just, that's not what they play RPGs for, which is fine. It's not my personal favorite, but honestly, I don't really mind it. I've said before, who you play with matters so much more than
Which edition
what
you're
the
playing.
system you're playing is. Yeah.
I fully agree with that. I love playing with the boomers. They're absolutely hilarious, and at least one of them will get completely and utterly drunk by the end of the session.
So he's role playing a dwarf.
Well, we had a rule for a
Didn't
little
care.
bit because so one of the guys does home brewing. He makes amazing beer. He makes amazing ale. His mead is fantastic. So he made healing potions one time that were like 6% alcohol by volume beer. It was a strong beer. And he said, "I'm only gonna hand these out if you actually drink one when you drink a healing potion."
Drink the whole thing.
Yes.
Why do I feel like this is leading towards everybody at the table being absolutely hammered?
We have one of the players, he's an older guy, he's in his early 70s. He is a certified, he's just a badass. Everyone knows he doesn't talk about it, but you see his shadow wall, you see the combat ribbons, you see all the stuff that he did, the pictures of him in Vietnam. He doesn't talk about it, he doesn't brag. He just I went over there and served. He was not drunk, and it annoys me to this day because I put so much damage into his character that night, and he's just like, whatever. He was not. Everyone else done. People were having to call their wives to pick them up. I had to drop 2 of them off the house and got yelled at.
Oh man.
Oh, so great. One thing, we are gonna add scuds in this book. Lots of armor. So there will be tanks, missiles, all the little things that that you guys might want to see are gonna get added in the book. So hopefully that helps out some of those games.
Well, I've had to finagle some of the rules, and we've had a running joke that I never let them have a vehicle for longer than an opening or a closing monologue in the session. Because I just didn't want to deal with it. At this point, they have a recurring villain who's called That Damn Rocketeer. And they think it's a kobold or a gnome, but every session that I need them to do something on foot, their vehicle will get taken out by some RPG.
Oh jeez.
I mean, you could always put it in a hole, so they have to leave the vehicle. But yeah, sometimes vehicles are just better just to get from one place to another. Or you can put things inside buildings or in caves or something like that, so you just don't have to deal with vehicle combat, and that's totally understandable.
I know the Zoomers have been using because they're doing the Gulf War style thing. They finagled rules together for the Gulf War dune buggies that Special Forces ran around in.
That's in the book. That's
Yep.
What is it
Yep.
called?
Dirt buggy. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Well, the only problem is they have to have 2 of them because the Lobstros has to have one for himself.
Oh yeah, the Lobstros is way too big. Yeah,
He sits in it.
wrecking everything.
He sits in it like King Koopa in the Mario Kart.
The King Koopa. Yeah. All right. Winter, thank you so much for coming on and tell us about your games. I'm gonna let you go, and we're gonna bring in our next guest.
Awesome. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I clicked on something and kind of messed up my video, I think.
Hey.
Hello.
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 This is the Sir Gimsalot crew. They stream 5e Savage Companies frequently on Saturdays, and we've shared their streams. We lost Ahab. Give us a
I'm
moment.
back.
No, looks like no.
Just
Sorry.
give him a moment. He'll figure it out. Oh wait, he is back.
Oh,
All right, Adam, get the
I
click
should,
thing.
Hold on.
I should slap something over this, so I'm not telling you where I'm going to school. Be right back.
All right. Can you guys hear my audio?
Yes.
Yes.
How is my audio? Is it good, bad, terrible?
You're fine.
Okay. Good, because new mic is very strange and everybody's complaining.
You're always super quiet on the streams, also.
I can't really. I had to get a new headset because mine kept fucking up, and this new one the mic is like an inch and a half away from my mouth. So
I'm on a laptop from mid 2000s because I'm mobile right now.
Chomp.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. So, you guys have been streaming Savage Company. What if you want to tell us anything about that experience? Like, what are your thoughts?
well, something that needs to be made clear is that the DM is, who is myself, is not the best. I throw shit together at the last minute, mainly because I'm just bad at I'm a very big procrastinator. But so far it's been a lot of fun. We've had a lot of fun moments. We've had a lot of somewhat serious, a lot of hilarious stuff. Unfortunately, I don't think Umraz, our resident Lobstros, is going to be in. Oh, he just.
He just might. Look, I'm having fun playing a skeletal doctor, and I keep called
Dr.
Dr.
Bones?
Dr. Ted McCoy, PhD, and
And that is the full title. And if you don't use it, he will shoot you.
Damn it, Bones!
no, I keep slipping into every stream damn it, Gimps, I'm a doctor, not a navigator. Every stream, I slip one of those jokes.
So great.
Yeah,
so
you
great.
gotta
The
say
lob-
more
like,
in every episode.
it's- The joke races, the Lobstros and the Skeletals were just like everybody's fan favorites.
Isn't that always true of the joke
It-
races?
I mean, they have a lot.
Especially like with how much effort you guys have put into like balancing everything.
Well, I mean, they're a joke in so much like we're not like, yeah,
They weren't the
they-
featured races. We're like, this is an afterthought. We'll slide these
they're
in
not
here.
more featured, but yeah, they were still equally as important.
It's like
yeah, that's
it's like the NPCs that you come up with on the fly, and you're like, oh, I need a quest giver for this thing, and then the whole party latches onto them and drags them along with the entire
Limpy
adventure.
That is,
McGee.
that is
Yeah.
exactly what they were. I can tell.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean, to
they were
be fair,
equal parts.
that happens in every RPG. So like, if you set it up for it, like, so Doom's been running a game of Delta Green for us, and like our
Oh, nice.
Doom, tell him about Nomez.
No. It's we're playing in another server, playing Delta Green. They have a garden gnome that's following them around that is somewhat possessed.
Only somewhat.
It's come in clutch for them a couple of times.
Team mascot soon enough.
Pretty much. Now back over in Savage Company, I think our funniest one has been Umraz, who is playing our resident Lobtros. I had to sit down in character as a skeletal inside of a library and read him a book
Yes, that
in
reminds
beanbag
me.
chairs because of there was a
Oh,
language
don't-
barrier.
Don't forget
Yeah.
when we walked in, Gibbs had the librarian, which was a dwarf, get mad at me because Lobtros regular sized buildings doesn't work.
Small door, big creature.
Yeah.
Most librarians
So-
would take offense.
You're
to
only
that.
14 feet tall, but I don't see the problem.
Yeah, no problem.
So we our elf companion magic means a small size, and being the kind of because of the lore I made it, I walked up to the dwarf librarian and was like, "Hey, do you have any books about eating dwarf or cooking dwarf?" And surprisingly, he had one.
Well,
That was another one of those last split second. Oh shit! Do I do this for the meme or do I actually take this seriously? Do
So
it for
at
the
least,
meme.
at least in our game, it's a kid, and that Lobstros can eat dwarf, and they're kind of a delicacy.
I mean, I think Lobstros would eat anything.
The issue with
They'd
the
even
eat
issue
each
with,
other. I mean, they're
Anything.
the issue with eating dwarves though is that they avoid water, so
It's
they would be
it's-
pretty
that-
rarely encountered by lobsters.
That's why they're a delicacy, because you rarely get them, but when you
so
do,
rare. You don't get a lot of dwarfs at the bottom of the ocean.
I think the canon is I've had 5. I think was the canon we came up with.
Fuck, I forget what the number was. It's not
It was
many.
4 or
but
5 because you asked, and I was like, "Yeah, I've totally ate a few," and I rolled like a 15 to your 13.
Yeah. It was. I think it is. I think it is 5.
Nice, hilarious.
But
I would say one of our best moments was probably in the first episode when you guys were driving by those. Now, granted, that was split again. That was another one of those split second. Oh shit! I should do something. Otherwise, it's gonna be boring as hell. When you guys were attacked by those raiders, and Ted aims his rifle and knocks the gunner out, and then Beef, who is unfortunately not here because he never gets on Discord, he's a jerk. He takes out his grenade launcher, loads it, and fires it, and just blows one of the buggies up. And all you hear is Ted go, "I could have done that."
I could have done that.
This has been probably one of my best experiences with 5e in a long time, and I gotta say, you guys did a hell of a job making that book.
Thank you.
enjoyed
We
it
had help.
thoroughly.
oh yeah,
I really appreciate, from a mechanics perspective, the way that the Lobtros is laid out. Because you have sort of a very standard form sort of set up for a lot of these D&D races, and even into Pathfinder that you can get into, because generally speaking, everyone is going to begin with enough languages to already work into the group. They're generally going to take something that's medium small, and they're generally going to have a fairly bog standard set of abilities, and I think that's it's doing a really good job with the Lobstros to
Make you stretch.
make you stretch and think on the fly, and I really appreciate any kind of a race like that.
Yeah, we went back and forth about it because I did a lot of there's a whole long story about the conversion stuff, but for all the 5e races, I wrote those first before any conversion stuff was done on my own. Well, not on my own. I had help. I had my buddy Corey, and we sat down and went over the races, and I was like, this is what I really want to do. This is where I see it going. And we looked at other races and what we could include, or how to make it
What were the unwritten
in
rules of
5e
5e?
convention,
Yeah.
but keep the spirit of what we wanted to do. And one of those was like, I was warned, not having common in your as a racial language is gonna be real hard because it's not as easy for you to get new languages. And I'm like, we went back and forth and we talked about it, and I'm like, honestly, I think we need to do it. Like a few levels in, you can have magic that allow you to translate and stuff like that, but I think this is important to these characters as a race, that they're somewhat xenophobic and isolationist, so they don't have common. They have to actually put out effort to learn it, and that can make interesting gameplay, and you guys clearly proved it.
I mean, at
it
the
introduced
same
all kinds of
time,
stuff that you might not have had otherwise, right?
at the same time, it also makes it really interesting when the party vehicle, if you will, is something that can't actually interact with the general population, but is absolutely a real character.
You need, you end up with having obstacles to overcome, you need a face, or you have to explain why this giant monster is not a threat. And, all
definitely a
problems
threat.
are opportunities, right? So,
Or in my case, I took the I think it was the soldiers job class. So you have the Lobstros communicating with the Skeletal in sign language, because that's the only way I can communicate is with their sign language.
I regret not making you and Beef have to work that out even more. I should have had you guys go.
He's
into
not
the
he's
channel.
not Clock King, is he?
Nope, he's not.
No, he's a
Okay,
regular.
That's good.
Oh,
He actually
he
has
has guns.
hands. He actually
He
has
has
hands.
hands. Yeah.
How else am I supposed to use these 2 shotguns and pistol I
I'm
found?
just imagining a Lobstros with giant claws trying to do hand sign.
It's not gonna work. Well, they could use the little hands, but yeah.
I mean, it in the end, you just boil down to semaphore.
Well, in the end, you just boil it down.
Boiled lobster.
it was like 2 game sessions. Our characters technically couldn't talk to him because we didn't know what he was saying.
It's even funnier because Hex's character comes from one of our previous campaigns, who basically he's a universe traveling crazy son of a bitch, and he can't actually speak the world's version of Common, so he would just start speaking gibberish, and everyone would look at him like he's fucking insane. I did have to give him an
As they
ambulance
should.
at one point, but yeah, it was interesting for a few sessions. I think I would, if I was going to do it again, I would definitely make it last longer. Because it really does add that, like Hex said, it adds that dynamic of, how does the group interact when you can't actually speak? The language barrier is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you have any issues with? You have 2 skeletals in the party, right?
Yes.
Do you have any problem with people wanting to kill them on sight?
No, mainly because the world that no. How do I want to put this? I basically adapted a world that I knew from another game that was years old, defunct now, and basically they're in what are called the Freelands, which are basically the Borderlands. Nobody goes there. Everybody's just kind of, okay, you don't bother me, I don't bother you. Let's go from there.
Good spot for monsters.
There are a couple of nations that probably would try to shoot Ted and Bones on sight if they got them, and there's
a lot of weird stuff there, so people don't really think too much of it.
Yeah, I mean, when you've got stuff like Hydras roaming the plains and Chimeras and other nasty creatures from underground and above ground, you tend to worry less about the skeletal that's not bothering you at the bar.
Yeah, that's fair.
Why is he taking all the good booze?
You're like, that guy looks like he's undead, but he also looks like he knows how to party. I think he gets a pass.
Let's bring him over. Let's get to know him a little.
No, what makes it even better is because I'm a doctor, I can rehydrate you in the middle of the game so you can drink even more. I have that medical knowledge.
Nice.
Been holding out on me.
Yeah, that's always been like our approach with the comedy in the books is like, we know it's a joke, but we have to pretend that we're serious.
That is the highest form of comedy. Being serious while still being able to laugh.
It's all the comedy in the book. It's funny. We know it's funny. But when we're writing it, we'll pretend that it is entirely serious. And then you guys get to laugh at it. We're not laughing at our own jokes in the book. Pretend that it's all serious and straightforward. And, then it ends up being funny.
Always an incredibly difficult line to walk.
Yeah. I like to imagine that when you guys were writing the book, you wrote it in a first person's perspective. Like somebody was actually given a book to say, here, write down descriptions of all this shit and get to it. And it was just some random grunt who's like, great, now I've got to do this. Fuck you.
It's funny you mentioned that. It reads like somebody was forced to just write down a description of all the stuff that really is real. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, there isn't nearly enough profanity in the book for it to have been written by a random grunt, and I say this as a random grunt.
Heavily edited grunts.
Yeah.
Some random.
He's on the front lines and he's writing it for his kid sister back home.
Yeah, that was one thing we discussed about. Was like how much profanity we want to put in the book, and we made a conscious decision that where we could throw a lot of profanity in the book, it's probably better if we don't rely on it.
Yeah.
Good writing does not require it.
I kind of write short stories like Flow of Consciousness, so like I'll mull it over my head, but once I get to the typing stage, it's just I'll write the entire story.
Vomit it out on the page.
And being a former grunt, I often would have to go back and edit out some of the profanity that I would put in there normally. Like that's been a common occurring thing.
That's fine. Yeah, we all do that.
We have to edit out profanity and semicolons because I tend to put a lot of too much of both.
Semicolons.
and same. Like I actually took like the Ernest Hemingway track on writing counseling statements. Write drunk, edit sober.
I can't say it's not a bad way to go.
It works.
Like, no, I mean, like, actually, Ernest Hemingway did say it was like right drunk, edit sober.
Oh yeah.
But I was doing it with counseling statements. So, like, my counseling statements were like a stream of consciousness of profanity until like the next morning, when I like woke up, called into PT, and was like, "Yeah, no, I'm not making it," and like rewrote them so that it wasn't like a stream of like vitriol.
I actually understand that because I have to write reports at work, and I'm like, okay, how can I write this in such a way that the idiots up top can understand, and I can't without swearing as much as I want, because I really want to curse them out. It's like, no, you can't do that. Don't do that.
If you write it all out, with all the swear words in, and then you just go back through and like write and just replace each one with something that's not profane, then you know.
What are all these giant spaces in between the words?
No, not like that.
Don't worry about that.
Don't white
Like,
out it.
There used to be a really good Duffel blog article before they like went to a full newsletter that was like a retired veteran is surprised to find that fuck is not an acceptable filler word in the business world.
Yeah, there's a bunch of those where it's
Those.
like translated phrases to business world. Instead of using this, use this. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and it's actually like really hilarious because like I'm actually going for my MBA right now, and so like going through it and people are saying it's like, well, you say a lot. It's like, well, I want to say fuck. So
there's another word that goes in there, and it's not appropriate, so I can't do it.
Or fuck, you decide.
So if you fucking guys want to like fucking decide, it's like, look at this fucking business plan. It's like, what the fuck are you? I mean,
If you look right here, you'll see fucking profits.
So, okay, you guys, you have any thoughts, comments, concerns, questions about the new book?
Not really. I am curious to see all the new weapons of war we will be getting, because I have interesting plans in the future.
I look forward to building Voltron out of all the weird different personality cubes.
Oh, man.
Into the mech.
Okay, all right. I don't have specific rules for creating Voltron, but yeah, I don't see why you couldn't. Like,
So create the rules.
5 light war machines combined to make one Titanic war machine. Like, cool. Yeah, that works.
I'm throwing this out there. Is there the ability to board a war machine?
Yeah.
Rodeo.
Perfect.
Okay,
You can
what's the
rodeo
problem?
war machine.
I see the gears turning there.
You can breach and board it. In fact, I put it in one of the updates or one of the stretch goals, but we're going to do interior maps for all of the Titanic class war machines. So you can have multiple decks and layouts of the interior.
So in
Adam, pull up some Titanics for me.
if you don't mind me like going into story mode here, one of my last big force on force training exercises, I was with a fire team, and we were a single infantry fire team sent to delay an enemy armor column as long as we could. And my first deployment was actually spent as a supernumerary in an armor platoon, so I learned like all the positions on a tank.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
So we mobility killed the number 1 and number 4 tank in the column. And then the 4 of us rushed the number 2 tank. Because of course, like, it's a training exercise. They're just like, boop, I'm gonna pop my head out. Hey, what's going on out here?
Rookie mistake.
Rookie mistake, motherfucker.
There's no such thing as a training exercise.
And
Situational
so, like,
awareness is expensive.
Dude,
As-
Op 4 is like some of the best time you could ever have.
No, Op 4 was absolutely fantastic. Like,
Oh
we
my
spent
God,
the entire
yes.
time. I had 2 Camelback bladders filled with like Bacardi 151.
My own heart.
And so, like, at this point, we were like, my entire fire team was like nursing off like a massive hangover, and so we're all pissed as shit.
You're pissed
So-
at shit. There are loud noises.
So we're running up to it, and we gun down the TC, grab him by his helmet, not like his shoulder straps or anything. Grab him by his helmet and drag him out.
Head control. Head control.
Did he have the strap on?
No, he had the
Put
strap
chin
on.
strap on? I've never seen anyone
No,
use the
like-
chin strap.
Oh no, like the chin strap was totally like a thing. I mean, during my Afghanistan deployment, like it was 10 months, and I spent less than 7 hours with my helmet on.
Seriously?
Seriously.
That's ballsy. That is ballsy as fuck.
Ooh,
And
those are
most
big machines.
and most of that time was like me asleep. I was like asleep in the back of like a Chinook.
Yeah, look at this. Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
Where are you throwing up?
On the YouTube.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Man, that's hot.
So you can click on Adam watch stream on the Adam.
No,
watch
no,
stream.
I'm looking at it.
Yeah. So like, we're gonna for all of the Titanic war machines, which are 65 to 120 feet tall, big boys.
Yeah.
We're gonna do an interior layout so that you, as tabletop, you can breach and clear and fight inside the thing.
No, like, and especially with that size, like, it's totally a thing. Because, like,
It's
for
a-
what
it's
we
a
were
fortress.
working with, it was just like we dragged the TC out, shot the
Yeah.
gunner, dropped the dude in who murdered the loader, and then we all dropped in. And the driver was smart enough to kill the power to the tank, but I knew where the manual controls were. And so, like, we just cranked the manual control over while we're listening to the radio, and like and like the rest of the column is calling up. It's like, can we fire on our own tank? While their battalion commander's like, what the fuck are you guys asking about? As we're cranking it around, like, popped open like the door in the turret, and like literally just walked in there and murdered the driver, and then drove the tank into a tree.
I want to be able to do this against one of these big machines.
Yeah, I was about to say, it sounds like that's kind of where like this is heading with your game is like.
Right. So yeah, you can okay. There's ways to breach. I mean, if the cockpit's open, then it's fine.
Explosives make every door open.
But yeah, you can. Yeah, there are how to breach a door, or the DCs for breaching a cockpit are going to be spelled out, so it's easy to find.
I mean, it's one of those things you also have to recognize that so how tall is this machine that we're looking at right now?
The little ones are 25 foot tall.
So when it's 25 feet tall, how worried about infantry do you think that commander is?
Not at all.
Exactly.
Well, 25 foot one is a single pilot.
Okay, so the 25 foot one, maybe. But, like, when you have a full command crew on the command deck, they're going to be like, oh, infantry? What's that? That's something we step on. Right up until,
Right.
like, infantry's going, please, daddy, step on me.
Yeah.
Bored.
There's other things to worry about, because, they have anti-infantry armament. Like, when they can bathe a 30-foot radius
Flame
from the
skirts.
vehicle in fire, you don't want 1,000 gallons of napalm on you. That's a bad time.
That doesn't count when you're paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like that's the thing too is like, it's totally good, like a viable option to try and
Yeah.
breach and clear these things,
Also-
but that doesn't mean it's going to be easy.
Also, it's the difference is, are you a regular grunt on the ground with a rifle and a steel pot helmet, or are you Luke Skywalker with a grappling hook and a lightsaber climbing up into an AT-AT? Like, it's a very different scenario there.
Like, did you see what the pilots are wearing? Those guys practically fly. So, getting on the back unseen.
Counterpoint, are you like an entire infantry squad who is like dealing with their like latent alcoholism?
Let me explain to you what's going on right now. In Bear's head, the gears are turning, and he is thinking of 1,000 different ways that he can board this thing with his 2 shotguns and go to fucking town. Doom is currently thinking about how he can pilot one of these things. Hex is currently in the mode of new shiny thing to play with to give to the army that he's making, and all I'm thinking is, oh god, now I need to figure out if I want this to happen or not, because
Well, I mean,
Would I be able to cut into it with my Lobstros claws? Can I just like punch a hole?
Probably not.
Just can't open it up.
Fair.
Find out it's just a can of worms.
Let's get one of the claws chopped off and replace it with a rotary buzzsaw. Then we can do it.
Very evil done there.
If there's one thing you need to know about our games, it's that I prefer rule of cool and rule of fun.
So
if somebody wants to do something and I think it's awesome, I will let them do it or try it.
Well, we are adding a bunch of options for advanced prosthetics as well. So you need to do limb replacements and stuff like that. We're gonna have a whole bunch of options right there in the book for that kind of stuff as well.
JVJ the Lobstros coming soon.
Oh my god!
So what is the thermal capacity of a Lobstros's claws?
I don't know. But we'll
I don't
find out.
know. Is it the original claws or is it chain saber claws? Like
Look. In our group, we have a doctor. I will learn how to make these. I will learn to make this happen for my Lobtros friend.
Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a chainsaw mechanic.
Oh my god. I'm super excited to see how this plays out once this gets into your guys' hands.
Yeah, if I could. So how wide is this?
What are we looking at? You mean this tank guy right here?
Mech 11 here, yeah.
It's 100 feet tall.
So it's 3 hexes base, right? So it's like 60 feet wide at the.
It's not. It occupies a 60-foot space, but like it's not that
all
tall.
of that space.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
What I'm-
how a purple worm technically.
What that sounds like to me is like a perfect airdrop location.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an idea too.
And
yeah,
if you're not on the ball, then yeah, like it's a walking pillbox, you know. So all these little squares are places where you would mount a gun. So there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 14 spots to mount guns.
There was blood upon the rises. There was blood upon the shoots.
Okay, I'm sure you want airship. You don't want
Like this could easily be a walking Omaha Beach, no problem.
I mean,
Wait.
what I'm thinking.
Hey, you know what happened with Omaha Beach, right? It fell.
Look, I come from the Steiner, and I know you guys said you haven't played BattleTech in many millennia, but I come from the Steiner and Davian rule of thought, which is as many guns and as much heavy armor as I can put on a damn thing. So you know what?
Yeah.
This is right up my alley.
I mean, the Colossuses, I think, not Colossus, what am I talking about? They're,
Colossi?
Colossal Plus? Wait, is that? Yeah, they're,
Category,
yeah, the Colossal Plus size category. But, yeah, the Titanic class war machines are slow and super heavily armored and have tons of places to put guns. And they're really more of, like, walking forts, and I don't anticipate they'll get a ton of use in the wargame aspect, but they're super great for targets when you're playing a tabletop game. And that's
just throwing it out there, like a player character party is the perfect forlorn hope.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like a King Tiger or some of the super heavy war machines you see in other games. It's like this is a big target. and it's going to be really awesome if you guys go and blow the fuck out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hard to do, but yeah, it's an objective.
The poor bastards have us surrounded. Fix bayonets.
Exactly. how many times was that order given, Ted?
Oh, plenty of times.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna miss
You know,
So-
the best way to get someone stuck on off your bayonet is just 12 is buckshot.
It's fire the 12
Just
gauge
fire the
shot.
weapon.
Yep. Jolie didn't do that.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I have to step out. It's been great talking. Great to be here live.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
we're pretty much hitting time. We're at 2
Okay.
hours, so it's time for us to say goodbye and sign off. We're gonna say goodbye to you guys. Thank you for coming on.
yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank
One
you.
thing we
One
stream,
thing I would
we
add.
will ping everyone. We'll advertise the link next time you guys are streaming the game.
Cool.
Yes,
Thanks.
we appreciate that. It really actually means a lot to us. And when the books come out, I will happily buy the next several books you guys bought. Thanks.
Super
Because
excited to
this
see
is
what you
a
guys do with it. It's always fun.
This is a hilarious setting. It's got a lot of really cool shit, and anybody who comes to me and says they want to play 5e, I'm going to say Savage Company. If you want,
Nice. Thank you so
to
much.
supplement, here's a good supplement.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank you.
No,
Thanks,
thank
guys.
you
Thank
for
you.
making this setting. This is amazing.
Thank you so much.
Hey,
And for anyone who hasn't heard already, I know there's everybody here probably knows, but the stream always starts at 10 Saturday,
10 Eastern
10 Eastern.
on Saturdays.
Oh, yeah, 10
Not
Eastern.
every Saturday, but most. Right?
It's usually every Saturday unless I have some weird sleep deprivation thing and fall asleep, or unless certain people can't make it, we usually post it if we're going to stream or not.
Cool.
So
Yeah. Yeah, definitely post in the server and I'll blast it out everywhere. It's definitely a good time. I've enjoyed watching it when I'm able to make it.
I am glad people enjoy it because every time I'm like, "Hey guys, did you guys enjoy this? Was it good? Was it bad? Was it meh? What do you want to see? What do you want to do?" Like,
We understand the desire for feedback.
Desperate for feedback. Yes.
I am desperate for feedback because we've had a few bad times with some DMs myself and others. I'm rambling.
All right. Thank you
thanks for
guys.
having us on.
Thank
Yeah,
you. You guys have a good night.
You
You
too.
too.
All right. Bye bye. All right. So very awesome those guys to come on. I think that's about it. Until we have, I'll send out a big update to all the Kickstarter people tomorrow. It closes middle of the day tomorrow. So then after that's over, then I'll send out an update to everybody about what's going on. So just to recap, we're going to do 5e corrections first. Then we're going to get started on this book. And then we should have a lot of art updates soon too. We have several different artists all working on pieces at the moment. So there'll be a lot more to see there. And that's basically it. Thank you everybody for watching, especially thank you everybody who generously contributed to the campaign. We're still completely in shock at this
Yeah.
point.
We're reeling.
Oh my god.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You guys are super generous and like beyond all expectation. We cannot thank you enough. And we're going to use that to deliver the best product possible. In fact, I was supposed to have the next model out today, and that didn't happen, but it'll be very soon. So, very excited about that. But yeah, they'll all be done, and then they're all going to get multiple accessories and other things. So, lots to look forward to. And if you're on Discord, or if you're on the Kickstarter email list, or any of our other socials, I'll post a lot of updates to keep everybody in the loop. So I think that's it. Thank you and good night. You guys have anything?
No?
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks,
Awesome.
everybody.
Thanks, guys.